All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show for goldandsilvertoday.com. Check that website out, everybody. Okay, so again, we're seeing gold and silver move within a tighter and tighter range today. Now, we got some economic news that proved to be a little bit of a rain on gold and silver's parade a bit. But overall, as of right now, gold has kept above the $1,900 an ounce level, and silver has kept above the $24 an ounce level. And gold and silver's movements have been a bit kind of hamstrung by some of their competitors, but we'll go over that very shortly. But first, if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses to bring more people into precious metals. Okay, so today the DXY hit a peak just after 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we'll come back to that shortly, but overall, the DXY has kept up its elevated levels, though it has begun to trend down as the VIX and just general volatility have subsided a bit today compared to yesterday. Now, some of you know that I swing trade equities, so that lessened volatility helped me a bit this morning. But back to the DXY, it spiked just after 7 a.m. and it just so happens to be around the same time that the pound actually kind of tumbled a bit here. And just so you guys know, this graph is done in UTC, so that's why the timing is a little bit off compared to Eastern Standard Time. But what caused this volatility in the pound? Well, turns out that the chances of an Australian quote-unquote style trade deal, it looks like it's going to be in the works according to Prime Minister Boris Johnson of the UK. Now, this comment sent some volatility into the pound, thus ricocheting into the DXY. So let's get a quick trade deal update between the EU and UK. And I'll start here. The British pound experienced turbulence ahead of the weekend after UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson responded to the ongoing impasse with the EU in efforts to secure a free trade deal. In a televised statement, Johnson said the UK is now preparing for a relationship with the EU, more like Australia's, based on simple principles of global free trade. An Australia-style deal is shorthand for a no-deal outcome to trade negotiations and would be seen as a worst-case outcome for sterling exchange rates. Johnson said the EU has refused to negotiate seriously in ongoing trade negotiations, but the UK was still committed to finding a solution. The pound fell against the majority of its peers following Johnson's remarks, but soon found its feet as there are ultimately no surprises out of either the EU conference on Thursday and Johnson's remarks on Friday. Sentiment will remain fragile with the risk of pullbacks on negative headlines. Lots of noise for the day traders to latch onto, but no trend emerging. So here's that big dip that we saw within the pound that I just showed you on the other graph. Now, guys, I'm an American, but after consuming a lot of this news and information, I just get this feeling that the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson is really comfortable with walking away with a no deal. Now, that would certainly help the dollar and bring gold and silver prices down a bit, unfortunately. Now, speaking of that, let's take a look at them now. So it looks like they did dip a little bit below, or gold did dip a little bit below 1900, but it did rebound here. Silver looked like it was getting closer to 2416, but bounced back up. Now, basically, you can just tell here by both graphs that they kind of held their own for a little bit. But around 8:30, gold more than silver, we got some positive economic data that kind of hit gold a little bit more. Around 10 a.m., we got the consumer sentiment index data, which outperformed expectations, and it sent both gold and silver down. Now, I will say though, it is kind of nice to see, even though it is heading down, with everyone comparing gold and silver's movements with equities, it is refreshing to see them make dissimilar moves from each other right now. As you can see, equities are starting to rally a little bit today with lessening volatility. Also, here you have the the U.S. 10-year Treasury note yield, and the U.S. 10-year Treasury note yield is actually starting to kick up a little bit more, just due to a more risk-on environment today. And it's pretty much been risk-on for the last few days, but I mean generally today, I mean it's been let's see where we are. Yeah, getting close to 0.76 almost. So, that risk on environment is there. The DXY is up. It just makes it harder for gold and silver to really find some really strong momentum in an upward trajectory, though it looks like it really wants to push up there. But honestly, I think that we're going to have more near-term bad news in the coming weeks than good news. And I know, there are some outlets that are saying that, hey, gold and silver are going to be performing really well soon. Now, I do think that's going to be coming, a little bit later on, but I think in the near term, we're going to be seeing a lot of volatility, especially around the US election, late October, early November. We're probably going to see some volatility also as the tech giants begin to testify in late October as well. And when that happens, just expect to see the VIX kind of going up a little bit. Maybe the dollar will go up as well. And then we're going to have the election right after, a few days after. So I just assume there's going to be a lot of volatility there, which might bring gold and silver prices a little bit lower. But more on that tomorrow. So guys, make sure you subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.